The planet Zorva was alive with color and sound. Bright green trees stretched toward a sky painted with two suns, one golden and warm, the other pale and cool. Birds with feathers that shimmered like glass flew above the busy streets of the marketplace. The air smelled sweet with flowers and fresh fruits. In the middle of this vibrant place walked a little alien girl named Tira. She had big round eyes that glowed softly blue in the daylight, and skin that shimmered like the leaves around her. She held her mother Luma's hand tightly, her small fingers curling around Luma's long, slender fingers. Luma smiled gently down at her daughter. "Be careful, Tira. The marketplace is busy today." Tira looked up at her mother and nodded. "I will, Mom. I just want to see the new things." The marketplace was filled with stalls covered in colorful cloth. Sellers shouted friendly greetings, showing off strange fruits, glowing stones, and tools that hummed quietly. Tira's eyes moved quickly from stall to stall, amazed by all she saw. As they walked, Tira suddenly stopped, her small hand pulled Luma's arm gently, her voice barely a whisper. "Mom, that's the person." Luma followed her daughter's gaze and saw a figure standing near a stall selling strange metals. The figure looked different from everyone else in the market. He was a man with pale skin, dark hair, and eyes that seemed full of both hope and fear. He wore simple clothes, dusty and worn, as if he had traveled a long way. Luma frowned slightly. Humans were very rare on Zorva. Most stories about them came from old books and legends. They said humans had left Earth many years ago to explore the stars, but few have been seen since. "Why do you say that, Tira?" Luma asked softly. The little girl's eyes stayed on the man. "He looks like the stories, like the ones from Earth." Luma glanced at the man again. He seemed to be looking around nervously, careful not to draw too much attention. She took a slow breath and said, "We should be careful. Not everyone trusts strangers." But Tira shook her head. "He doesn't look bad. I want to know more." Luma smiled at her daughter's bravery. "All right, we will watch from here." As they moved closer, the man noticed them and gave a small, polite nod. "Hello," he said in the soft voice of someone trying to be careful. Luma answered quietly, "Hello." "Are you lost?" The man nodded. "Yes, I am called Sam. My ship broke down near here. I need help to fix it." Tira's eyes sparkled. "A ship, like the ones in stories?" Sam smiled, a little tired but kind. "Yes, I came from far away. A place called Earth." Luma's heart beat faster. Earth was almost a myth on Zorva, a place so far in time and space it felt like a dream. But here was a man from that place, right in their market. "How long will you stay?" Luma asked. "As long as I need," Sam replied. "I mean no harm. I only want to repair my ship and learn about your world." Tira took a small step forward. "Can I help you?" Sam looked at the little alien girl and smiled warmly. "Thank you, but I think I should not cause trouble." "No trouble," Tira said quickly. "I know this place. I can find what you need." Luma looked at her daughter, surprised. "Tira, that might be dangerous." Tira shook her head. "No, I want to help." Sam looked at the mother and daughter, then nodded slowly. "If you will help, I will be very grateful." The market buzzed around them, but in that moment, a small trust began to grow between three very different beings. Nearby, a tall figure watched them carefully. Coral, a leader in the marketplace, frowned deeply. He did not trust humans and did not like the idea of a stranger from Earth wandering freely. He folded his arms and moved closer, keeping his eyes on Sam and the small alien girl. But for now, Tira and Luma stayed near Sam, listening as he spoke about his broken ship and the strange parts he needed. The little girl's hope and curiosity touched Luma's heart, and she felt a quiet hope too, as the suns began to set, casting long shadows across the marketplace. Tira whispered to her mother once again, "Mom, maybe this is the start of something new." Luma looked down at her daughter and nodded. "Maybe it is, Tira. We will see." And so, under the glow of two suns and among the busy stalls of Zorva, the meeting of worlds had quietly begun. The morning sun rose softly over Zorva, painting the sky with pink and orange light. The marketplace slowly came back to life as creatures of all shapes and sizes began their day. Birds sang in the trees, and the scent of fresh bread and sweet fruits filled the air. Tira woke early, excited. She could hardly wait to see Sam again. After breakfast, she pulled her mother's hand gently. "Mom, can we go to the market? I want to help Sam." Luma looked at her daughter's bright eyes and smiled. "All right, but be careful. The marketplace can be busy and noisy together." They walked toward the place where they had met the strange man the day before. The crowd was already thick, and voices mixed in a lively chorus. But near the metal stalls, Sam stood waiting, watching the crowd carefully. When Sam saw them, a tired but warm smile spread across his face. "Hello, Tira. Hello, Luma. Thank you for coming." Tira waved happily. "I want to help you find what you need." Sam looked around nervously. "Thank you, but the parts I need are rare. I do not know if anyone here can help." Luma stepped closer. "Tell us what you need. Maybe we can find it together." Sam nodded and carefully pulled out a small device from his bag. It was a strange tool, smooth and shining with buttons and lights. "This is part of my ship's engine. It is broken, and without it, I cannot leave Zorva." Tira reached out to touch the device. It felt cold but alive with a soft humming sound. "Where did you get this?" Luma asked. Sam looked away for a moment, then said quietly, "On my journey. But it stopped working near here." Luma frowned. "We will try to find what you need. Come with us." The three moved through the marketplace. Tira led the way, weaving between people and stalls with ease. She pointed to a shop with glowing tools in the window. "That shop might have parts like this," she said. They entered the small store. The owner, a kind-eyed alien named Joro, looked up and greeted them. When Sam showed the device, Joro's eyes widened. "This is advanced technology," Joro said. "I did not have parts exactly like this, but I know someone who might." Joro gave them directions to a nearby workshop on the edge of the marketplace. It was run by an old inventor named Nari, known for fixing rare machines. Tira, Luma, and Sam walked quickly to Nari's workshop. The walls were covered with tools, wires, and strange machines in different stages of repair. Nari, a small alien with bright purple skin and sharp eyes, looked up with surprise. "A human here? That is rare." Sam smiled politely. "I am here to ask for help." Nari studied Sam's device carefully. "I have never seen this before, but I can try to repair if you find the right parts." Tira nodded eagerly. "We will find the parts for you." Nari gave them a list of materials, some common, some very rare. The team split up to search the marketplace. Tira and Luma collected simpler items like wires and small metals, while Sam went with Nari to search for rare stones and special tools. As they worked together, Tira noticed how carefully Sam listened and how quickly he learned the ways of the marketplace. He was respectful and kind to everyone, even when they looked at him strangely. By midday, Tira sat with her mother and Sam under a large tree. She asked Sam, "Why did you come to Zorva?" Sam looked thoughtful. "My home is Earth, far from here. We are explorers, looking for new places and friends. But my ship was damaged in space. I came here hoping to fix it and continue my journey." Luma nodded slowly. "Zorva is peaceful, but some do not trust strangers." Sam's eyes grew serious. "I understand. I only want to help, not cause harm." Tira smiled. "I believe you." Suddenly, a group of market guards appeared nearby, led by the tall man Coral. His face was stern as he looked directly at Sam. "You should not be here," Coral said loudly. "Humans are not welcome. They bring trouble." Sam stood calmly. "I mean no trouble. I only want to fix my ship." Coral's eyes narrowed. "Many have said that before. You are a stranger, and strangers are dangerous." Luma stepped forward, placing a hand on Coral's arm. "Please, Coral. Sam is not here to harm us. Let him prove it." Coral hesitated, but did not argue further. The guards moved away slowly. As Coral left, Tira looked at Sam with worry. "Why did they not trust you?" Sam sighed. "Sometimes Fear is stronger than reason. But I hope with time, they will see I am different. Luma smiled kindly. Then, we will help you, together. The rest of the day passed with more searching and talking. People began to notice Sam's kindness. He helped a child pick up fallen fruit and shared stories of Earth with curious listeners. By evening, they returned to Nari's workshop with the materials. The old inventor began working on the device, carefully fitting pieces and testing parts. Tira sat quietly, watching the soft light of the lamps and the careful hands of Nari. For the first time, she felt hope that two worlds could meet without fear. Before leaving, Sam thanked Luma and Tira. You have shown me kindness. I will not forget it. Tira smiled and whispered, we will see you again soon. As Sam walked away to rest, Luma looked at her daughter and said, you have a brave heart, Tira. But remember, not everyone is as kind as you. Tira nodded. I know, Mom, but maybe one day, everyone will be under the stars of Zorva. The little alien girl dreamed of a future where strangers could become friends, and the unknown could become home. The next morning, the sons of Zorva rose gently over the marketplace. The air was warm and full of promise. Tira and her mother, Luma, made their way back to the workshop, where Nari was working on Sam's device. Sam was already there, sitting quietly and watching the busy hands of the old inventor. His face looked hopeful but tired. Good morning, Sam, Tira said, smiling brightly. Sam returned her smile. Good morning, Tira. Thank you for coming. Luma looked around and noticed. More people were gathering near the marketplace. Some whispered among themselves, casting curious looks toward the human, Coral. The tall leader who had warned them before stood at the edge of the crowd. His arms were crossed, and his eyes were sharp. Luma felt a chill. It seems not everyone is happy with Sam's presence. Tira frowned. Why does Coral not like him? Luma shook her head. Fear, maybe. Fear of the unknown. Suddenly, Coral stepped forward and raised his voice so all could hear. This human is dangerous. He may bring trouble we cannot control. A few voices in the crowd murmured in agreement. The marketplace, usually full of friendly chatter, grew tense. Sam stood up calmly and addressed the crowd. I do not want to cause harm. I am only here for help. I want to repair my ship and leave peacefully. A silence fell over the crowd. Many eyes were on him, waiting. Tira took a deep breath and stepped forward, standing beside Sam. Sam is kind. I have seen it. He helped a child yesterday. He is not dangerous. Her small voice was steady, and it surprised many. The crowd was quiet again. Luma smiled at her daughter. Thank you, Tira. Coral narrowed his eyes but did not speak. Instead, he turned and walked away, followed by his guards, after the crowd slowly dispersed. Nari spoke softly. Coral's words have power. It will not be easy for Sam to stay. Sam nodded. I understand, but I will try. Luma placed a hand on Sam's shoulder. We will help you. You are not alone. Tira beamed. Yes, we will find the parts and fix your ship. The day passed with Tira and Luma helping Sam gather more materials. The marketplace slowly began to accept Sam's presence. People were curious about his stories of Earth, a place with blue skies, great oceans, and tall cities. A kind merchant named Rila even offered to share her tools to help repair the ship. As the sun set, Tira sat beside Sam and asked, Do you miss your home? Sam looked up at the colorful sky. Yes, but I am glad to be here with new friends. Tira smiled. I hope one day Earth and Zorva will be friends. Sam looked at her and said, I hope so too. That night, as stars twinkled above, Tira dreamed of a future where differences did not divide, but brought beings together. The bright light of Zorva's twin suns poured over the bustling marketplace as Tira, Luma, and Sam worked side by side. The air was filled with the sounds of haggling voices, laughter, and the soft hum of strange machines. Round them, people moved like a river, carrying bundles of fruit, tools, and fabrics. Sam was busy inspecting some of the parts Nari had gathered for his ship, trying to understand how they could fit together. Tira watched him with wide eyes, amazed at how carefully he examined each piece. Luma stood near a stall, keeping a watchful eye on the crowd. Despite the growing trust in Sam, a sense of unease had settled in her chest. The marketplace was a place of harmony, but not everyone was happy about the presence of a human stranger. As the day grew warmer, Luma noticed Coral moving through the crowd with a secretive air. He was speaking quietly with several guards and other men who looked serious and tense. Their voices were low, but Luma caught a few words: danger, technology, and control. Her heart pounded. Something was wrong. Luma turned to Tira. "Stay close to me," she said softly. Tira nodded, her small hand slipping into her mother's. Later, as Sam carefully adjusted parts of his device, Nari looked up and whispered, "I have heard rumors. Coral is planning something. He wants the humans' technology for himself." Sam's eyes widened. Why would he want that? Nari shook his head. Because it is powerful. Technology from Earth is rare here. If Coral gets it, he could control many things. That could hurt the whole planet. Luma's voice was steady but firm. "We must protect Sam and the people of Zorva." Tira's eyes shone with determination. "We can stop him, right?" Sam smiled gently. "Yes, but we need a plan." That evening, the three gathered under the large tree where they had first talked. Sam showed them a small device, part of his ship's control system. If Coral gets this, he could use it to control the ship and maybe much more, Sam said. Luma frowned. "We cannot let that happen." Tira looked around, thinking hard. "Maybe we can tell the marketplace leaders. They should know." Sam nodded. "Yes. If more people understand the danger, Coral will not succeed." The next day, Luma and Sam went to the Council of Elders, the group who guided the planet's safety. They explained everything they knew about Coral's plan. The elders listened carefully. One of them, a wise alien named Hira, said, "This is serious. We must act quickly." Tira stayed with Nari, helping to finish the repairs on Sam's device. She felt proud to be part of something so important. Meanwhile, Sam practiced moving quietly and quickly, ready for whatever might come. Luma spoke with other marketplace friends, asking them to watch carefully. Days passed, and tension grew. Coral watched from a distance, his plans moving forward. But the people of Zorva were no longer afraid of Sam. Instead, they stood with him, ready to protect their home. One night, under the pale light of the smallest sun, Coral's guards tried to sneak into Nari's workshop to steal the device. But Tira, sensing something was wrong, woke Sam and Luma just in time. Together, they stopped the guards without any fighting. Sam used his knowledge to lock the doors and send a warning signal. The marketplace quickly gathered, and Coral's plan was revealed. The council acted swiftly, and Coral was stopped before he could cause harm. The people cheered for Tira, Sam, and Luma, the brave few who saved Zorva. Sam looked at Tira with gratitude. "Your courage helped us all." Tira smiled. "I just did what I felt was right." Luma hugged her daughter tightly. "You are very brave, Tira." That night, under the stars of Zorva, the marketplace was calm again, and for the first time, many believed that a new friendship was possible, a friendship that could protect their worlds. The next morning on Zorva, the twin suns rose slowly over the marketplace, lighting up every corner with soft gold and silver light. The air felt calmer now. After Coral's plan was stopped, people moved with ease between the stalls, and many greeted Sam with friendly smiles. He was no longer just a strange visitor, he was someone they had begun to trust. But Sam, Luma, and Tira knew that everything was not yet safe. Coral had been stopped for now, but he had many supporters. He still wanted Sam's ship, and the technology inside it. Inside Nari's workshop, Sam sat at a table with wires and parts spread out in front of him. Tira sat across from him, handing him tools. Luma stood near the door, watching the street carefully. "We fixed most of the control system," Sam said, "but we need to test it before I go back to the ship. Can we help?" Tira asked, her eyes bright with excitement. "Yes," Sam replied with a smile, "but we'll have to be smart. Coral may try again." That afternoon, the three of them met with Nari and some friends in the marketplace. They had a new idea: not to fight Coral with weapons, but with clever thinking. "We can't use force. Luma said. That will only bring fear. But we can use a trick, Nari added, smiling. Let's give Coral what he wants, or at least what he thinks he wants, Sam nodded. A decoy. Tira clapped her hands. A fake control device. Yes, said Sam. We'll build something that looks real but does nothing. The plan was simple. While Sam finished fixing the real device, Nari and a few trusted helpers built a second one that looked exactly the same. They painted it, polished it, and added blinking lights. It looked perfect meanwhile. Luma spread quiet messages through the market, letting people know that something big might happen soon. And to be ready, 3 nights later, under the dim light of Zorva's moons, it began. A group of Coral's followers moved toward Nari's workshop, their footsteps quick and silent. They wore dark cloaks and carried strange tools meant to break locks and force open doors. But Sam had already prepared. He and Nari had placed the fake control device on a table in plain view. They also hid tiny glowing stones around the workshop signal, markers that would warn others when someone entered Dot as soon as the intruders stepped into the room. Soft blue lights blinked across the walls. It was the signal Dot in moments. Luma, Tira, Nari, and several brave marketplace leaders surrounded the workshop. No weapons were raised, only strong voices and serious faces. We know what you're doing, said Luma, her voice calm but clear. The followers froze. One of them, clearly unsure, asked, Where's Coral? He sent you here to steal. Nari said, pointing to the fake device. But what you hold is useless. It's just a shell. Sam stepped forward. You followed a leader who used fear and lies. But look around. No one here is fighting. No one here is hurting anyone. We only want peace. Slowly, the intruders lowered their hands. Some of them looked ashamed. He promised power. One of them muttered. But we don't want to hurt anyone. Tira stepped forward bravely. It's not too late. You can still help. There was silence. Then one of Coral's followers dropped the fake device onto the table. I'm done, he said. This is not what I came to the marketplace for. One by one, the others followed him. Later that night, the Council of Elders called a meeting. In the open plaza, the stars shone overhead, and people gathered in a large circle. Sitting on soft rugs and benches. Sam stood beside Luma and Tira as Elder Hera raised her voice. Today, something important happened. Not with fighting, not with anger, but with wisdom, with a child's voice, a mother's courage. In a stranger's heart, the crowd was silent, listening. We now know that Sam is not just a visitor. He is a friend. A cheer rose from the crowd, gentle at first, then louder. Tira beamed with joy. Sam knelt beside her. You were brave. Tira, he said, you helped me more than you know. Tira giggled. I told you. I knew you were the person. Sam laughed softly. Yes, you did. The council declared that Sam would be given protection until his ship was ready. Coral, who had disappeared after the failed plan, would no longer be allowed to lead in the marketplace. As the crowd began to leave, Luma placed a hand on Sam's shoulder. You could have used your tools to fight, but you chose another path. Sam nodded. I've seen enough fighting. I want to build something better. Luma smiled. Then maybe your journey to Zorva was not an accident. The night ended, with laughter and calm music drifting through the air. For the first time, Sam felt like he truly belonged, not because of where he was from, but because of who he chose to be. And in the heart of the marketplace, under the stars of 2 suns and 3 moons, a little girl's simple trust had brought light where there once was doubt. The days after the battle passed quietly in the marketplace. The people returned to their work, their homes, and their lives, but something had changed. There was a new feeling of hope and trust between them all. Tira and Luma walked together through the colorful streets, still glowing with the soft light of the stars above. Mom, Tira said softly, do you think Coral will come back? Luma smiled gently. Maybe, but we are ready now. We know how to protect ourselves with courage and kindness. As they walked, Tira noticed someone sitting alone near a fountain. A small, strange creature she had never seen before. It had bright blue fur, large curious eyes, and long fingers that moved quickly. The creature looked up and smiled shyly. "Hello," Tira said. Stepping closer. "Who are you?" The creature blinked and then said in a soft voice, "I am Vec. I came from far away." Luma stepped beside Tira, studying Vec carefully. "What brings you here, Vec?" "I am looking for friends," Vec said quietly. "My home was lost to darkness. I want to help keep this place safe." Tira's eyes lit up. "We are protecting the marketplace now. You can help us." Vec nodded happily. "I will do my best." Sam arrived at that moment, carrying a basket of fresh fruit. He smiled warmly at the new arrival. "Welcome, Vec," Sam said. "Friendship is the strongest power we have." The three, Tira, Luma, and Sam, showed Vec around the marketplace. They introduced him to the people, who welcomed him with open arms. Vec was quick to learn and eager to help. He used his long fingers to fix broken machines, and his bright eyes spotted dangers before anyone else. That night, as the stars twinkled like diamonds, Tira and Vec sat together near the fountain. "Do you miss your home?" Tira asked gently. Vec nodded slowly. "Yes, but I feel happy here. I have friends now." Tira smiled and took Vec's hand. "You are not alone." Far above, the stars shone brighter than ever, lighting the way for new adventures and new friendships. The marketplace was no longer just a place of trade. It was a home for everyone who believed in hope, courage, and kindness. Side, sharing stories and dreams under the warm sun, Tira stood at the edge of the square, watching the children play and Vec teaching them how to build little machines. Luma and Sam were nearby, helping an elderly woman fix her cart. "Look at all we have done," Luma said softly. "From fear and danger, we made a family." Tira smiled. "And we will keep protecting it, together." Suddenly, a gentle breeze carried a soft song through the air. It was the song of the stars, melody of hope and new beginnings. Tira closed her eyes and listened. In her heart, she felt the promise of many adventures yet to come. She knew the marketplace was more than a place. It was a home filled with friends, courage, and endless kindness. No darkness could ever take that away. As the sun set, painting the sky with gold and pink, Tira, Luma, Sam, and Vec stood side by side. "Here's to tomorrow," Tira said with a smile. "A bright tomorrow." And the stars above sparkled back in agreement, lighting the way for all who believed.